by Gillette. Cam Newton and the Panthers pulled off the upset yesterday in Foxborough, 33-30. Cam had 4 total touchdowns in the win. He had just 3 total touchdowns in the first 3 games before yesterday. Then after the game, Cam had a message for his critics. Take a listen.
It was a lot of somewhat respecting that we felt like we wasn't getting. And, not saying that the Patriots were doing it. It was just more or less you guys were doing it. This was a statement game for us. And just moving forward, this game set precedence and set the tone for, the season moving forward.
We're joined by FS1 NFL analyst Eric Dickerson.
Very quickly, let me congratulate you on your Rams.
Oh, you get on already?
We'll talk about that in just a minute.
Okay. I celebrate.
I'll be on these miles.
Huh?
I'll be on these miles over here. These miles and that dog. I was celebrating, having a good old time. I was at home by myself, me and the dog, sipping on that dog.
Eric, can you get him, please?
Out there by the pool, too.
Yeah, I'm sure.
I know. We both are happy this morning.
After yesterday, Eric, is Cam back?
Well, first of all, Cam was never lost. Cam had surgery last year. 2015, he was the MVP in the Super Bowl. But one thing that I think the NFL does a great job of is that, and you know this, is that when you get us once, we're going to figure you out the next year. And what they did last year, and still trying to do it, was blitz him. You blitz him, he has a problem. Yeah. So what they do, they went out and got McCaffrey. They went and got Curtis Samuels, which helps him. Like, all of a sudden, I don't have to throw the ball downfield. I can just dump it off. So he had 4 touchdowns yesterday, passing touchdown, 1 rushing. Now, for previous season, before in the early year, this year, he had 2 passing touchdowns, 1 rushing touchdown, 10 sacks. That's a lot of sacks for a quarterback.
Yeah.
I think people have a tendency to look at Cam almost like a big running back or a big wide receiver. He's not. He's a quarterback. They need to protect him a lot better. And I always say, if this was Tom Brady, we know what to do. It would be flags everywhere. So is Cam back? I think Cam said it best yesterday. People were disrespecting him and disrespecting the team. So this was a game where they had to show him. Even though the Patriots don't have a great defense, when you play the Patriots in New England, it's a problem. And to me, he played very well yesterday with 361 yards passing.
I agree with everything you just said. Cam never went anywhere. He was hurt. He was hurt last year. That's why he had surgery in the offseason. Nobody has surgery if there's nothing wrong with you. He had surgery for a reason. But what people don't realize is that, and some do, ED, you've gone through this. No matter what happens, if they see you on the field, they expect you to be at all-time best. They don't realize that you took 4 pain-killing shots just to get out on the field. They don't want to hear that. They see 84 or they saw 29. Man, what's wrong with you? Is everything okay? No, hey, just one of those games. Just one of those games. I'm back. No, everything ain't okay. I'm hurting. I had to take these shots to get out here. And I think the thing with Cam is that, and I'm a firm believer, if you have a mobile quarterback, I want to blitz him. You know why? Because I want him to make quick decisions. Because I believe I can force him to run himself in some sacks. Mm-hmm. And if you notice this, and if people are like, well, why is it the mobile quarterbacks get sacked more than pocket passers? Mm-hmm. Randall Cunningham was a high sack guy.
He was.
So was Steve Young early in his career. Mm-hmm. Michael Vick, Cam Newton, Cap and RG3, because they think they're getting away from something on the front side and they run themselves into something on the back side. Mm-hmm. And that's what happens. Skip, he didn't go anywhere. And I was telling someone as a matter of fact, we did this shoot on Saturday, mm-hmm. and I was talking to the director's kid, and they said, well, is it over for Cam? I said, Cam just didn't step off a cliff. Mm-hmm. I said, he's hurt. I said, when Cam is healthy and they protect him like they do some of these other quarterbacks, you're going to see a different Cam. Now, do I expect to see 5 touchdowns, 4 passing, and 1 run? That's not. Mm-hmm. But he's not that quarterback that he showed last year. I believe Cam can throw for 25 to 30 touchdowns. He can rush for another 10. But the thing that I like the way Mike Shula called the game is that they're not doing a whole lot of power. You don't run power with your quarterback. I don't care if he is. As Edie said, he's a quarterback. He just happens to be built like a defensive end and a tight end. But he is a quarterback, and you should protect him as such. I love what I'm seeing from Cam. I love what I saw from Cam yesterday.
I remind you, Mr. Sharp, last week you were in favor of shutting Cam down,
Yes.
a la Andrew Luck.
Yes.
Let him get right.
Right.
Let him heal up completely
Yes.
from off-season shoulder surgery.
Yes.
Because you didn't think he was right last week.
I did not.
New Orleans went in there and just stomped all over him. 34-13 at Carolina.
Right.
And that was a defense you thought was going to be historically bad. The Saints defense, and Cam couldn't
Do anything.
couldn't do anything against that defense with his new toys. He lost Greg Olsen. Now that's a security blanket.
Correct.
Tight end, obviously. But he went from should be shut down to a signature win against Tom Brady at Foxborough. That's pretty great.
Yes.
Okay, just me, and I'm with you. You got to give him some break for the surgery, but he struggled all last year after being the MVP the year before, and so I do need to see a couple of more of
Yes.
similar games before I say, oh, he's back,
Right.
as in MVP back. I need to see a couple of more of these because speaking of historically bad, the shock to me is that Bill Belichick's defense is on course to be all-time worst in the history of pro football, and it's not even close. That's how bad they are. The 2012 Saints were the all-time worst.
Yeah.
This defense is on track to just shatter the bad record.
So you saying the Patriots defense got Cam healthy?
It helped a little bit. Well, so they're giving up 457 a game through 4 games, and he got 444, as his offense got 444. So it was just sort of an average shellacking that defense got at Foxborough. It doesn't matter whether they're home or away because Deshaun Watson went in there and just tore them apart, and it took Brady being clutch all-time clutch Tom hitting Brandon Cooks at the end of that game to pull that one out. And Brady, to me, you disagree, but I think he's playing even better than he did last year when he had arguably his greatest year yet. So now he's 40, and he's got 10 touchdowns to 0 interceptions, and they're 2-2. And he pulled one. They could very easily be 1-3.
Easy.
Okay, so he's doing his part. Second in the NFL in QBR to Deshaun Watson. I don't know what else he can do except wait for his coach, who's now on some hot seat, to come back and fix this defense. And I'm not seeing a quick fix here. I'm sorry.
But Skip, the thing is, even when you play the Patriots, and even though their defense is struggling, Tom and that offense put so much pressure on your offense because you got to match them. Doesn't matter how good your defense is. You know, Tom, if he gets enough cracks at you, he's going to put the ball into the end zone. So he puts so much pressure on the opposing team offenses that you got to score 30 because you know he can go get 30. So now you got to be almost perfect in order to beat them.
Hey.
But for one punt, Skip?
Let me ask you a question. Wasn't a question about Cam Newton, not Tom Brady?
Yeah.
But I mean, you have to put it in the perspective
I know
of.
he loves Tom.
He loves it.
I know he loves Tom.
I'm just stating a fact.
But-
Look at what he's doing.
But the thing is, still, he's playing. I agree with you. He's playing great, and the Patriots defense is struggling. I mean, but that's football. It was like when the Rams played the Colts the first week. What did everybody say? They're the Colts. But they're still a professional football team. I mean, Cam is a professional football player.
Yes.
Let's not get this confused. And one thing, when you're a big target like he is, he played well in 2014, 15.
MVP.
One thing is that, like I just said, defensive coaches, they go in and find your weakness. Everybody has a weakness.
Yes.
I mean, they really do. I mean, I didn't like pass blocking. I mean, that was just one of my weaknesses.
So they brought the blitz.
They brought the blitz. Pretty much, if I was going to run a toss play or 47 gap, I lined up 7 yards deep.
Right.
They picked up on that. So you have to make the adjustments.
Yes.
And right now, in this game, like I said, I'm with you. We have to see him play more. But in this game, he made the adjustments and played a great game.
He stood up and played in this game because he was accurate, which sometimes he comes and goes. And with his legs, he was really smart and really effective. And that play. He drove it home at the goal line. That was big time.
Skip is so, and Edie makes a thing talking about how teams study you. I had a habit is that I would set light when I was on the pass. I didn't want all that pressure down because it was going to take me a while to get out that stand.
A tell.
He like,
Yeah, you have a couple other
hey,
things, too.
we got a flyer. So I just had to go ahead and bite the bullet. Because when it passed, I was like, had a little two fingers like that. When it was a run block, I got the hand in the dirt like this here.
So why didn't you like the pass block?
Man, first
Just
of all,
another collision,
let
right?
me tell you something. When you got a linebacker, 250, 60 pounds, rushing you from 7, are you sitting there waiting?
Exactly.
You got to sit there and wait.
And he's full steam.
He's full. And you you're not supposed to move. I hate
You better
it.
close, AED. You better close that gap. If you don't close that distance, he going to take you right to quarterback lap.
You got to get low. But you're like 6'3".
When they rushing like this.
Yeah.
Not
They tried
like
to
this.
ain't no, because they see ED, they're not trying to swim him. Now that's an offensive lineman. They're going to try and swim him. ED, they're going to try to put his helmet
We're
right
going to
up
put you back into the quarterback.
Well,
They
we'll
are.
get to it now. Eric's Rams got a big win in Dallas yesterday, and we'll discuss that.
We sure did. Got us
Here
a
we
big
go.
old win.
Saturday on Fox, Baker Mayfield leads the Sooners against Iowa State. Then Maryland looks to shock the country when they take on Ohio State. College football, Saturday on Fox.
Sir Jeremy, you are a true friend of the crown. Dilly dilly. Dilly dilly. Madam Susan, you are an even truer friend of the crown. Dilly dilly. Dilly dilly. What is that?
This is a spiced honey mead wine that I have really been into lately.
Please follow Sir Brad. He's going to give you a private tour of the pit of misery.
I'm sorry, what?